Welcome to Cold Process Wine Soap. I am Tina Moenck, the author of the Soap Making Handbook Volume 1 and the creator of the e-course and masterclass Advanced Soap Formulations. They are available at naturalsudsandmore.com. If you are brand new to soap making, please stop right now and watch my lye safety video and my beginner cold process videos. And we also have lots of free info and recipes in the files of my Facebook group, Soap Making and Business Coaching, for beginners, and business information as well in the files, all for free. Now, there are several ways to do wine soap. For this one in particular, I boiled the wine for about 10 minutes, and I'm using a dry red wine, and then I froze it. And then I'm adding the lye slowly to this just to make sure that I don't scorch the sugars in the wine. And I normally do a lot of beer soaps and I don't boil the alcohol out because I mostly do all my beer soaps hot process. I do have a hot process wine soap that is coming that worked really, really well. So look for that one too. And, for this, I just, wanted to see how this would work out. And I really like how this turned out. So you'll see, at the end, the final product. And some of the other prep work that I did for this was I actually made some melt and pour balls with some gold mica to put on top for decoration. And, I normally don't do melt and pour, and I don't normally use micas. So this was totally different wheelhouse for me in this soap, but I've got some vendor shows coming up at a local winery, so these are for those. And I wanted to show you how things worked out if you're curious about how to make wine soaps. But I actually did have to stir this quite a while to make sure all the lye got dissolved in there. And the film is sped up a little bit too. But for this soap, I'm actually using the Merlot Sparkle Mica and the Gold Mica from Brambleberry and their Berrywine fragrance oil. And on the site, Brambleberry says that the Berrywine smells like nail polish in the bottle, but it was on sale, so I figured I would give it a shot because they said it doesn't smell like that after the soap comes out. And it didn't. It actually turned out pretty well. So after I finally got all of the lye dissolved in there, I am doing this under 100 degrees. I normally, when I do cold process soaps, if you've seen any of my other videos, I always heat all of my hard oils in the crock pot in the base, and then when my hard oils are melted, I take it out and sit it on the counter, and then I add my liquid oils. That helps keep the temperature down where I want it to for cold process. And then I add the lye water in when it gets to the right temperature. But with the freezing the wine, it kept it really cold, so there wasn't any time for that to cool down like normally. Which is also really good if you add your lye to something that's cold. It actually helps keep the fumes down as well. Now, I was really curious to see how this red wine soap would go color-wise. So what I'm doing here is I'm separating some out for the gold mica portion, and then I'm going to add the Merlot Sparkle Mica to the rest of the soap. And that is the Berrywine fragrance oil. And I just started using the All-Clad stick blender, and I am really happy with it. So if you are wondering if you're looking for one and it's a little bit pricier, but I've been frustrated with some other stick blenders, so I started using that one and I really like it. And I'm mixing in the gold mica off the screen there. And you know when I always pre-mix all of my colorants, and with micas you should pre-mix with an oil or glycerin. But if you're doing melt and pour, you want to make sure that you pre-mix with rubbing alcohol. And that's what I did for the little gold balls that you'll see at the end. So this actually went through several different color changes, you know, in the making here, and then when it, right after I pulled it out of the mold, it was like a really light pink, and now it got darker too. So anytime you're working with micas and cold process soap, you can get some morphine in the color. You know, it's gonna change, so you never know. You know, and some of them aren't pH stable either, so just be aware of that. And normally I only use, you know, all natural colorants, the clays and things like that. So this was, like I said, a total experiment for me. This was actually a lot thinner than I wanted it to be, so I stick blended it again, trying to get this a little bit thicker. I know it looks kind of brownish here again, but it was almost like a dark red. Like, yeah, this just went through some crazy color changes. But I really like the end product of it, and the gold mica looks really pretty in it and on top of it as well too. Well, when I was pouring this, it just made me think of ketchup and mustard. So, yeah, I was really hoping this was going to turn out well, and it did. But so just be aware that if you're using micas, you might get some crazy color morphine happen in it. And as always, you want to make sure you bang down your mold so that it doesn't have air pockets. And then I just hanger swirled it a little bit. I went toward me in a circular motion, and then I went back the same. And then I'm just pouring the rest of the soap out. Actually had to play with this for a little while because it wasn't quite as thick as I needed it. So I wanted to be able to mount it up to put the gold balls on top, so I had to play with it just a little bit. And I'm just using a spoon to try to get it into a mound. And I was just pretty much just trying to do something with it until it thickened up enough where I could put the balls on top. I still have some gold mica left that I'm going to put on top too to blend it in there. You can still see that it's still really thin, so the swirls are just working their way back out, so I just kept playing with it until they stayed. You know, I really like how this turned out, and I would probably be doing a lot more wine soaps. And be sure to look for the hot process wine soap. That one was a countertop fluid hot process one. It worked really, really well, so that will be coming. I'm placing the melt and pour balls on with my fingers, so just be sure that you don't touch the raw soap. I just felt like my gloves were too clumsy, and I took them off to place the balls on top. And I did not let this gel, so I put it in the refrigerator right after. I didn't want the wine to scorch at all, so I just wanted to see the difference. And here's the cut. I think it turned out really pretty. I'm really happy with it, and the Berrywine fragrance oil is really good. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. And you can also subscribe at my website, and you can follow me at Natural Suds and More on Instagram, Twitter, and you can like my Facebook pages, Tina Moenck and Natural Suds and More. Thank you so much.